And we back. Alright. So let's just hear what he got.
The Black Ops 2. This phrase alone probably invokes so much nostalgia in you that is a pleasant reminder about how simple life used to be at the time. Black Ops
Facts.
2 came out in 2012. The game is basically a decade old at this point, and I was 14 years old when this game was first introduced to the world. I'm 24 now, and life is
Whoa,
exceptionally.
hold on, wait, pause. See something about state of play. PlayStation State of Play is today? I thought that was tomorrow.
Action adventure, its minute-to-minute gameplay is
Oh,
commonly
it's
rooted
just 2 hours away. Okay. So I think we're gonna watch the Black Ops. Oh, I thought this was a new trailer. I was gonna say, oh, bet. But I think we're gonna watch the Black Ops 2 video leading up to the state of play, and then if it's not already started by the time the video finishes, obviously it says it's 2 hours, but you know I like to pause and talk. So depending on how long is left, we'll see about watching that in one stream. But I think I'm just gonna end up going live again just to watch this data play and react to it if I'm,
as I'm sure is the case for all of you as well. What is it about Black Ops 2 that makes the game so special though? On the surface, Black Ops 2 is just another run-of-the-mill Call of Duty game with the standard offering of a single-player.
Honestly, I hate to pause it 30 seconds in, but I think the thing about Black Ops 2 was the time setting. People hated it when it got announced, but I feel like the time setting made it so different and unique to past Call of Duties that it was literally so great. Shock charges, tac inserts, the streaks was fire. The guns, the attachments. I just feel like the whole setting of Black Ops 2 is really what made it precious. And that's why I feel like there won't be another Black Ops 2. Because it was a first time thing, even if they try to recreate it with like Black Ops Cold War 2 type situation, you feel me? But it's like even if they try to like recreate it, I don't feel like it will have that same. It might, because Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 was pretty fire, bro. And I didn't really play Modern Warfare, like the original Modern Warfare series. I was always a Black Ops kind of player, you feel me? So you know I didn't really play Modern Warfare. So, but as far as I know, I did play Modern Warfare Remastered though, because I bought Infinite Warfare, so I played Modern Warfare Remastered. I liked it. It was cool. I didn't see the real hype why it was why people consider it one of the best Call of Duties, but it was definitely a cool Call of Duty. Now for Modern Warfare 2019, you feel me, for the reboot of the series, personally I think it did everything way better than Modern Warfare. So I could be wrong. You know, I could be wrong. They they made a hit with Black Ops 3 too. So the Black Ops series has been a hit. You know, it's been carrying Call of Duty. If Black Ops ever fell off, it fell off with Black Ops 4. Not gonna lie, Black Ops 4 was kind of mid, no story mode, none of that. Black Ops 4 was kind of trash. Let's be honest. I like it, but it's not one of my favorites. You feel me? But yeah.
Campaign, traditional COD multiplayer, and of course, zombies. The game is looked at by nearly everyone these days with a sheer reverence for it and fond memories of each element. In fact,
low-key wanna play now.
started my YouTube channel on this very game. It sparked my love and interest for creating content, and I certainly would not be here today without it. But what I'm curious about is finding out whether we truly loved Black Ops 2
I love that
because
camo.
it was
What is it, the
genuinely a
115
good
camo?
video game, or were we
like
in
that?
love with the relative simplicity of our lives at the time? It's a hard question
Oh
to
my
answer,
God,
and to some extent, I
Melissa.
think it's impossible to entirely remove the nostalgia from analyzing this game objectively, but I'm going to do my best to do that anyways. After considering all of the parts of Black Ops 2 deeply, whether you liked or
Low-key, Black Ops 2 was the last time zombies was ever really fun. Call me Cap, whatever you want. Zombies ain't been the same since Black Ops 2. I feel like the Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 formula was perfect. They doing too much now. I feel like it just don't, zombies just don't hit the same. They trying to make the maps so big, but I feel like the small maps is where it's at. Not having a lot of options of where to go is kind of what made zombies. You know, just running around one building for hours. Like that's literally the essence of zombies, bro. That's why people love zombies. People don't want a Warzone size map for zombies, except for the zombie nerd heads. But the majority of people, you know, the ones that just play it for the fun of it, We just want to run around in a loop, bro. That's all we want. Get back to that. That's the
Disliked the
essence.
game, it's fair to say that there will never be another game quite like it.
Plus, one more thing, not having to do Easter eggs. Who wants to do an Easter egg every time they play the game? That is the most annoying thing ever. Not everyone is a zombie's head. Not everyone wants to solve a puzzle just to enjoy zombies. You feel me? Just let me play the game.
Black Ops 2 was what some would probably consider to be the pinnacle of the COD franchise, the peak of the series, if you will.
Definitely.
To some degree, that depends on your perspective on whether BO2 truly was the peak for COD, but it doesn't really matter. In any case, it at least made an impression on everyone's mind so deeply that it's still talked about even to this day. That is certainly not the case for every COD game, and this already indicates to me that Black Ops 2 truly brought something unique and new to the table.
Oh my
that
gosh,
will
I wanna
us for
play.
the rest of our lives. In my opinion, Black Ops 2 is a lot like Jennifer Aniston. It most likely represents a big part of your childhood or past if you watched Friends on TV, and it's also one of the most gracefully aged things on planet Earth. At least in the sense that
shooting a
most
shot,
of the
bro?
gameplay mechanics, direction, and core gameplay are still very palatable in 2022. And in the context of modern day video games, Black Ops 2, even now, isn't too far off from what would be considered acceptable in my opinion. I see
Definitely not.
BO2 as a genuine sequel to Black Ops 1, and not just in the story sense, but in how the gameplay evolved over time. Treyarch set out to make Black Ops 2 the most ambitious COD game to date at the time, and it seems like they achieved it. It's worth
MP7.
noting that not everything
I
paid
love
off,
that gun.
however.
Suppressor
There
on
are
it
some
too.
aspects of
Oh,
Black Ops 2 that definitely do
Yes.
fall apart under scrutiny, but as an overall package is extremely well executed. And as far as single player goes, Black Ops 2 did one of the more interesting things I've seen from a COD game maybe ever. Instead of
That
being
time
a
jump is
one and done, on the rails
definitely
narrative experience, they introduced some RPG elements alongside the classic campaign format to make a branching pathway story arc structure where the things you do in game actually matter in a big way and can vastly affect the outcome. And while the gameplay of the Strike Force missions weren't terribly fun, it all added to the experience that was the Black Ops 2 arc. We will get to campaign in more detail
Oh my
momentarily,
gosh, I wanna
but
play.
as far as the multiplayer side of things go, it seems they set out to make the most engaging and viscerally fun experience possible, taking the core gameplay of the Black Ops Arena multiplayer, but expanding it and deepening it further to give the player the most variety of experiences possible for the hardcore players and the casuals alike. Black Ops 2 multiplayer seems to be just as memorable to people as something like COD 4 or Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer as well. I really can't find anyone that hasn't at least played or enjoyed BO2 multiplayer at one point in time or another. It's an experience we all share, it seems, and with zombies, well, you can tell they had a big vision for what this mode could be, and they took some extreme risks with this iteration, and again, not all of those risks quite paid off. But honestly, in some cases, I think the flaws in Black Ops 2, and I'm talking the game as a whole, are actually what make this game beautiful to me. The game isn't perfect, far from it in fact, but you don't even want it to be a perfect game.
The thing about Call of Duty is, I feel like why Call of Duty can't reach the point that it was before is because they try to make it too perfect. When you're sitting there trying to make a game perfect, it kind of takes the funness out of it. One of the fun things about Call of Duty were the broken things in it, the broken snipers or broken things. Like, yes, it was rage inducing, but the rage inducing of it was the fun part of it. You feel me? Like, I feel like once you start patching glitches and stuff like that, watching glitch tutorials and zombie, like, it takes the fun out of the game and it makes it just like a boring surface level game. It's like there's nothing hit. It's kind of like when things were broken, it was kind of like an Easter egg. When you found out what was broken and you used what was broken, then at that point, it's like you knew something most people didn't. So you kind of like, it's kind of like you dug deeper into the game than most people did. It's just no longer a surface level game. You're not just playing the game for what it is, but you're diving deeper into the game. That's kind of where broken things come into play. You feel me? And that's why I like when Call of Duty was broken, and I kind of hate the fact that it's no longer broken. Like there's no overpower. They try to make every gun balanced. They try to do all this and that, and it makes the game boring. It makes the game stale, in my opinion.
It's insanely fun and enjoyable, and partly that is a direct result of some of its flaws. And if that doesn't make any sense to you, stick with me. I promise that will make sense by the end of this. Black Ops 2 has this sense in literally every element of its core game that sticks in your memory. Everything from the campaign to MP and zombies all have these unique qualities. While not all of them are good, at least remain in your
How
mind.
is this man not
But
dead?
let's
Oh,
get down
he's
to it and
about
figure out
something to
why
say.
Black Ops 2 is so special among the COD franchise, starting with the single-player campaign. Hey there, real quick, before we continue any further, I'm going to be making a review video like this for every single Call of Duty title, and obviously these take a long time to produce. So getting footage for multiplayer lobbies, I'm actually going to be playing multiplayer with members. So if you guys want to support this kind of content and become a channel member, not only does it help out a ton, but I'll also be playing with you guys as I go and get footage and re-review and visit some older Call of Duty games. So if you want to take part in that, you can become a member, and it would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise,
I wonder if he
no
was
pressure.
kicking
If you
out
don't
the
want to do that, the
sweats.
least you can do is subscribe to the channel for more of
Niggas
these
trying to
reviews,
drop
and it
nukes.
shows that around 80% of you guys aren't currently subbed, and we are getting really close to 500,000, so make sure to hit that sub button if you haven't already. But anyways, let's continue.
Okay, and
I was about to say, I know I ain't getting no
Alright, I'm just
ad.
going to come out and say it. Black Ops 2 probably has my favorite COD campaign possibly ever. It's certainly flawed, yes, but it's so charming and gracefully aged otherwise that it's so easy to overlook the glaring flaws. The basic premise of the campaign is both a journey back in time in which you play through the stories of Frank Woods and his operations with Alex Mason as they try and capture targets. Frank Woods was tortured by Raul Menendez and wants revenge. Through an unfortunate error, Frank Woods also ends up causing the death of Raul Menendez's sister, which causes their hatred for one another to deepen even further. The structure per mission involves cutting back and forth between current day, where you play primarily as David Mason, Alex's son, and try to stop Raul Menendez and his plan for Cortes DA. In a premise where Raul is primarily focused on cyber-like warfare, which is creepily similar to our current day, despite being a 10-year-old game, is oddly relevant even now. Not only does the cutting back and forth between time periods help illustrate the storytelling very well, but it also keeps it visually and thematically interesting, so one thing never gets played out for too long. As soon as you're getting bored of the Frank Woods stuff in the past, bam, cuts right back to present day with David Mason and all the futuristic tech and settings. As soon as that starts to get boring, bam, cut right back again. Also, the Black Ops 2 campaign has probably my favorite COD villain for its main antagonist ever, maybe besides Makarov. Raul Menendez is such a well-developed and memorable character that throughout the course of the missions, you get to learn why he's so twisted and evil. And to some extent, you're forced to empathize with him and even feel sorry for him at times, despite being a horrible monster. The mission where you play as him just after Noriega breaks you free, the exaggerated realism with the over-the-top blood splatters, the pulsating HUD, and the kind of hilariously ignoring the concept of reloading altogether, it's this like heightened realism, and it's one of those points where you get to understand your enemy's motivations to a level I feel like we don't get very often. Stepping into the shoes of your enemy, even just for a moment, is so effective in making you at least care about the stakes even more. I just think of Vanguard with generic Nazi man who's a bad guy because bad. In Vanguard, the game has to
I haven't played the
outright tell
Vanguard
you
campaign,
not to
not gonna
like
lie.
this
Or
guy.
the Cold War
And
campaign.
the heroes are just perfect saints, basically. They may as well be superheroes with no real depth. A much more interesting protagonist is also one that struggles against the conflict within his or herself, as well as fighting the external threat. And wrestling with that instead of doing the right thing all the time at every possible moment is far more interesting. In Black Ops 2, the way that you see Raul Menendez will alter your treatment of him later on. And that brings me to why, besides pretty good storytelling, the Black Ops 2 campaign is great. The multiple outcomes and the player's choice having genuine weight to it, this is the only COD campaign that has a deep emphasis on player choice. One criticism I have for COD campaigns in general is, in a lot of ways, they're just very on the rails, boxed in, almost interactive movies. You're just watching a story unfold instead of actively participating in it. And don't get me wrong, that's fine. I genuinely have nothing against that style of storytelling in Call of Duty. My point is, Black Ops 2 genuinely tried something different, and it paid off in a great way. There's the obvious choices like, should I kill this guy on the spot or not? Or the famous shooting Mason in the leg instead of the head. But in order to get the best possible ending, you have to do random things as well, like grab an offhand document in a random mission, and even avoiding a pipe spewing fire so your boy doesn't get his face burned off. Just small and subtle choices like that dramatically affect the outcome. This
I
is
forgot
perhaps the
how
strongest aspect of
choices
this
affected this
You
campaign.
feel so much more personally invested in it. And
I
you
remember the
consider your
ending
actions
choice, but I don't
much
even
more
remember
carefully than
all these
normal.
choices.
The scene where you're on the boat and people start getting shot, there's like 934 outcomes of this scenario depending on what you do prior to that mission, and it's actually very unlikely that most people who played the BO2 campaign ever got the best ending at all unless they did the very specific things you need to do during the playthrough, or they did multiple playthroughs, which is exactly what Treyarch intended for it. It's not all perfect though. There was a new element added called Strike Force missions. Now technically these are all optional, but in order to get a good outcome, you have to complete all of these missions. And I'm gonna be real, these are all boring and terrible disasters. Basically, they completely divert from the main story being told.
Choking
And
on
the
my water.
gameplay is more like an RTS game where you do basic objectives and control a squad from the top down that I just find mind-numbingly boring personally. I just wanted to blow through them as quickly as possible to get back to the good stuff, but I had to do them to get the good ending. They just don't really seem to fit well from a story or gameplay perspective with what the rest of BO2 was going for, and honestly, it mostly feels like filler, as the total length, actually, of the campaign isn't all that long. There's also a traditional create a class system for the campaign, and while I can appreciate it, there's some neat special weapons you get access to from it. The choice of weaponry matters zero
I remember
in
they
the
had
grand
that-
scheme
that
of things. It's
charged
just
up
so you
sniper
can
that
use your
shot through
preferred
walls.
weapon and nothing more. There's a lot of neat little details I noticed as I was replaying it too. When you shoot Mason so that it isn't a lethal shot, you can see a really small mouth movement just before it fades to black, indicating that he's still alive. But it happens so quickly that you'll probably miss it if you're not looking for it. Also, I find it hilarious how apparently everyone in this game is a short king, I guess. According to the game, Chloe, or Karma, is 5'2" and 95 pounds. And when you see her standing next to any other character, she's just as tall, if not taller, than everyone else. Some of the tech abilities they use do feel kind of quaint, corny, or, I don't know, outdated, but honestly, not as much as you'd expect for a 10-year-old game. Most things still feel somewhat plausible or in touch. It also doesn't overstay its welcome. Some COD campaigns I feel like seem to drag on, and it's like they tried to stretch total running time in exchange for an engaging experience. Black Ops 2, aside from the strike missions, has no fluff, cuts right to the chase, and gets you what you need to know. And above all else, is just a genuinely fun single-player experience. The gameplay is about what you'd expect, you know, it's clearing levels as you shoot through bad guys, but occasionally you have to make a choice that are all fun to consider. It's satisfying either killing or capturing Menendez, or seeing Woods and Mason reunite at the very end. It's a nice moment that feels earned given the choices you had to make so it would happen. The Black Ops 2 campaign will probably genuinely stick with me for the rest of my life. It's not the most genius or well-written story or anything, but it's so memorable for a lot of reasons, and it absolutely stands out among the series as an excellent COD campaign, and I sincerely hope they make this branching story structure again. I know they did in Cold War, it's got multiple endings, and I liked that campaign a lot too, but it didn't have the nuances in the choices like BO2 had. Not to mention, the campaign made a great basis and premise for the iconic multiplayer experience. So let's talk about that too, shall we?
Being,
Why does he do that? Multiplayer!
Black Ops 2, in all honesty, might be Treyarch's one of, if not the best multiplayer experience. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect or flawless, in fact, far from it, but again, a lot of its imperfections are what make it beautiful and memorable, so let's just dive in, yeah? What exactly is it that makes the multiplayer of Black Ops 2 so damn good? To me, not only is the game absolutely overflowing with personality, but it also rides the line between fun and balance to the best, in my opinion. So let's start with that. I think, generally speaking, you can place COD MPs on a spectrum. On one end, you have just pure chaotic fun, where everything's broken from a technical and balance standpoint, but at least it's fun. classic example I always use is Modern Warfare 2. On the other hand, you have ultra meticulous balance and good technical gameplay. I don't know if there's a great COD example for this, but something like Counter-Strike or even some older Halo games' focus was on ultra fair balance. But either way, you get the point. Black Ops 2 was able to be balanced, for the most part, without losing its fun factor. A perfectly balanced game runs into the danger of becoming boring, and Black Ops 2 avoids this in very intelligent ways. So, what do I mean by that?
You did not see him?
Again, for the most part, strikes a near perfect balance with its weapons and perks. Each weapon, and therefore attachment, have a play and counterplay to them.
Oh no, you should
also,
be dead, bro.
To me, the pick 10
bots.
system
Okay.
seems to make the most sense in this game. There are just enough items and perks to use without feeling like filler, but still having ample, meaningful changes you can make to your classes. And I can't quite put my finger on it, but something about how the guns sound, feel, and the overall gunplay just feels so damn good in this game, and it doesn't get old. The maps are also, with
The
the
guns
exceptions,
sound
super
great.
well-designed classic COD 3-lane style
I actually
maps
like Aftermath.
with their own
Hate me
unique
if you
flavor
want.
of gameplay to each one. The maps were all designed as well with the sandbox specifically of Black Ops 2's weapons in mind. And something I've noticed, I'm sure many of you will relate to what I'm about to say, but I swear, in older games like Black Ops 2 multiplayer, I can remember in detail the names of MP maps. I know how they look and feel, and they left it.
Bro, I swear I was thinking this the other day. The newer Call of Duties, their maps, they're so forgettable. You can remember the map, but you won't remember the name. It's like someone can name a map and you're like, what map is that again? But Black Ops 2, the name stuck, bro. The name of maps stuck.
Big impression on me. Same with the weapon selection.
Exactly, the
I could
weapons
probably name you
too.
every gun in each class in Black Ops 2 without looking at them, genuinely, and I don't really know why that is.
I couldn't do all
Everything
that,
about
but
this game
I
hangs
can.
very vividly
I
in my
remember
memory,
most of them.
and I don't understand. Maybe my brain has reached max capacity for remembering COD guns and maps, but I would say like after Infinite Warfare specifically, I could no longer retain the names and images of maps and guns in my mind.
I couldn't even
They
do
all
it
started
during
to blend
Infinite
together
Warfare.
at a certain point. But
After Black Ops
with
3 was
BO2,
for me.
there's no mistaking something like Raid or Nuketown 2025 or Hijacked. In fact, now that I think about it, Black Ops 2 was basically the last Treyarch game to have its MP maps reimagined for new COD projects. You know what I mean? In BO4 and Cold War, there are a bunch of Black Ops 2 maps and even BO1 in each game brought over. Nothing original from BO3 and then on, obviously because of its movement system, or even in BO4 have been remastered. Point is, they're all from older COD games like BO1 and 2. It's what people remember most and like playing. And let me ask you a question. What sticks out in your memory more, Slums or Morocco? Or how about Standoff in BO2 or Arsenal in BO4?
Standoff.
I understand that's a bit subjective, but I really do feel like COD maps don't have the same like remembrance power in our minds these days. Same with weapons, generally speaking, as well. And when it comes to attachments, I also give BO2 MP some credit. It has enough attachments and gives you a fair amount of freedom to experiment with them without feeling like filler. Again, the new COD attachment system is interesting, and I think Modern Warfare 2019 personally does it best, but I'm thinking like in Vanguard, the 80 different variants of attachments.
Yeah, they did way too much in Vanguard.
90% of them
Stop.
never get used, and they certainly aren't memorable at all like the ones in BO2 are. Every single weapon, map, attachment, equipment, and so on, they all have their place in this game. And again, I'm not saying the gameplay balance is perfect. In fact, you don't even want it to be. But the most broken aspects of BO2 MP by far is within the score streaks. Black Ops 2 was also the first game to innovate on the core defining element of MP. The killstreak system has been slightly modified to reward objective players as well, instead of those just farming for kills. I think the score streak system itself is great, and it makes perfect sense for Black Ops 2 MP. The score streaks themselves are where the broken elements come into play. And that's not even really a criticism. The BO2 score streaks are just plain.
Bro, score streaks are supposed to be broken. There's no reason why score streaks should be balanced. Why are you balancing a score streak? You waste all that time doing all that work to get a reward just for the reward to absolutely suck. Like, where's the value in that? Why would you? It makes you not want to, go for the streak. It literally defeats the whole purpose of being rewarded for the work you put in. You feel me? So the fact that they were actually broken, like the Swarm, There's Squirt Jones the Warthog. Oh my gosh, the Warthog was annoying. But things like that make the game fun. Because when you get them, you know you're going to be the time that you put in is going to be given back to you, and it's not going to seem like a complete waste of time. You feel me? So that's another thing that these new Call of Duties need to get right. These score sheets, they doing trash, bro. Doing trash. Modern Warfare 2 was kind of, Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2019 was kind of cool on them, but even then, the score sheets kind of, yeah, you feel me? Like, they not all that. And then Vanguard being such an old game, their score sheets kind of lame. They need to just, I feel like Call of Duty has expired the World War II setting, and they need to just let it go. Let World War II go. Y'all have done it since y'all started the game. Let it go, bro. Let it go. Like, move on to something different. Me personally, I love the Advanced Warfare. Say what you want. Hate me if you want. The Advanced Warfare is one of my top 5 Call of Duties. Not just for the game, but for the experience that I had with it. You know, experience does play a big part in how you rank things. So, personally, for me, my experience with Advanced Warfare is one of the reasons why I put it in my top 5 Call of Duties ever. But when you what was I finna say? Oh, Sledgehammer needs to stop with the World War II. Because Call of Duty World War II, boring. Call of Duty Vanguard, boring. They need to, I swear they need to make an Advanced Warfare 2, but with some adjustment. Now the guns in that game were absolutely dog, bro. If you want to talk about balanced yet unbalanced, it was AW, bro. There was some guns that hit every single time and never missed. Then there were guns that did absolutely no damage. There were streaks that did absolutely no damage. So it was kind of like Advanced Warfare had one of the worst guns and kill streaks. I can't admit that, but like I said, the experience I had playing that game was so fun to me that's why I rank it. So it's not really the guns and the streaks or the multiplayer aspect of it. Plus, I love the campaign of Advanced Warfare. Me personally, love the campaign. Plus, I think that was one of the best looking Call of Duties at the time, you know, so that also played a big part in why I loved it so much. And yeah, we definitely not gonna watch this whole video. I just want to get that out the way right now. So if y'all thinking like we got a whole, he pausing, it's only been 18 minutes. It just don't worry about that. After he get done with his multiplayer stuff, I'm probably not gonna watch the video. But yeah, so yeah, I just feel like they're losing their touch with streaks by trying to make them so much balanced when they shouldn't be balanced. But you should be able to call on a streak and it should be able to wreak havoc all over the map. Every person that's on the map should be killed. There's no reason people should be avoiding kill streaks. You know, I mean, obviously if you got the perk on, that's a different story. But if you don't got the perk, there's no reason you should be able to avoid the kill streak. You feel me? Die, bro. Just die. Give me my credit for all the work that I put in to get my kill streak. You feel me? So, and they're easy to shoot down, so why not make them overpowered? If they're so easy to shoot down, just make them overpowered, bro. Why would you make them weak yet easy to shoot down? That doesn't even correlate right. That don't even line up right. Cause like the streak is basically useless as one. What game is that? I think it's Cold War, where the sentry gun is so trash. All it takes is one grenade to blow it up. Who thought that would be a good idea? One grenade to blow up a sentry gun. You do all that work, then with Cold War, you really don't gotta put in work. You just survive. Not even survive. You just kill. You get enough kills, you got the streak. You feel me? Cause your streaks don't reset. Is that Cold War? I think it is Cold War. But yeah, you know your streaks don't reset, so it's like you throw a grenade, you blow up the sentry gun. What is the point of having a sentry gun? Like, why is it so easy to... 2 grenades would make more sense. 1 grenade is ridiculous. It's completely... Let's get back to the video.
Overpowered some of them, and once you get streaks rolling in BO2, it's like the most fun COD experience there is.
Definitely.
If you're getting streaked on, though, it's also like the worst to be on the receiving
end.
But
that's how it should
that's
be.
The duality, though, you have to consider. You want fun kill streaks, then you have to accept sometimes it's gonna suck to play against them. I don't even really consider this a fault of BO2, and I think the score streaks in some sense are really what made the game stand out. And all of that was just to do with sheer gameplay, which by this point I hope I've made it abundantly clear that it's just pure classic handcrafted fun. But the same game is also just
That
literally
lobby music
overflowing
too.
with personality. First off, game modes like Gun Game,
I
One
think
in
I
the
hear that
Chamber,
lobby music.
and those kinds of party games were so smart to have in the rotation. Also, the game had a fully functioning theater mode that allowed you to record your games, upload clips to the public board that the rest of the player base could see, allow you to make videos of literally whatever you wanted. There was so much creativity that came out of that aspect alone. Also, I'm just going to say it, I miss Emblem Editor so much. The sheer creativity as well of BO2 emblems are unmatched. You could browse community emblems, and there was even a whole section of
one of the best things about YouTube, I mean Black Ops 2, was going on YouTube, looking up emblem tutorials, and doing them, bro. It was literally a whole YouTube community, and they just threw it away. They threw it away.
YouTube tutorials dedicated to making
Is he
emblem
rolling?
art. I swear to God, some nights I would spend more time working on and perfecting an emblem than I would spend playing the actual game. Unfortunately, though, I don't think we'll ever see this feature again. Now
Sadly.
emblems come pre-packaged, and they
suck.
just don't have the same flair or sauce.
I know. I literally don't care. I don't change my emblem. I barely change my calling card because I don't care. Call of Duty, they lost the effect that emblems had. Like, I don't care. I don't care about the emblem. I don't care about the calling card because y'all won't let me create my own. You feel me? Where's the fun factor in it? It's like it's there just to be there.
Them anymore. I'd argue the same with calling cards too. Granted, some people did abuse the emblem system as well to some degree, but it certainly wasn't the majority of people, and they also found a way to monetize emblems, so sadly, I don't think we'll ever see that again. Speaking of monetization, there was some bundle in Vanguard that came out not too
I swear there people had emblems that just said nigga. I swear.
long ago with a gun and a few other things, ironically an emblem, that cost $40, literally more than half the price of the full game. That cost $40, literally more than half the price of the full game, and you only get the blueprint for that specific weapon. In BO2, there are some great camos that you can apply to every gun.
Best camos ever in Call of Duty.
No exceptions for, get this,
Can't change my mind.
total, wait for it, of a whopping, a massive $2 whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magnificent.
Let
Great.
that soak in for a minute.
Beautiful.
So,
Just like the guns and maps, the DLC camos are almost all inspired and incredibly memorable. Probably the most consumer-friendly version of this dynamic that's ever existed. And it's not just modern COD that this has affected, though. This system started to get way out of hand all the way back in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, but that's a discussion for another time. My point is, while the gameplay has its flaws, things like lag compensation I remember people weren't too happy about, the lanky hit detection, skill-based matchmaking, which I don't personally believe is the boogeyman everybody makes it out to be, but again, that's an entirely different topic for another time. But also, you know, broken guns here and there occasionally and so on. Black Ops 2's MP is generally regarded as one of the most fun and fair multiplayer experiences to date. Not to mention, the personality and identity was impossible to ignore. Just like the campaign, BO2 multiplayer will probably stick with me forever as well. Very fond memories of it even to this day, and just a great gameplay experience that does hold up with time.
Black Ops 2 multiplayer has a lot of new things where we did some very simple things to make the game.
Okay, I would stay for zombies, but honestly, I don't know. I didn't want to watch this whole video to begin with. Maybe we could check out the rest another time, but I think I'm just gonna call it until the state of play drop, and then I'll be back on to react to that. You know, see what they got to show. I know it's gonna be a short window. I know it's gonna only be like a 30-minute state of play, so we're not only gonna be on for that long. So it's gonna be on to react to that, and then I'm gonna get off again. But for the people that joined, thank you so much. Your spies, thank you for following. I'm pretty sure you're Rael. I'm pretty sure that's Rayo, which is my cousin. You know, regardless, I appreciate the follow. You know, first person to follow me. You know, gotta you know gotta appreciate it, no matter who it is. You feel me? But yeah. Oh, let's say 20 hours ago. I'm tripping. I thought he just did that. It wasn't there when I started my stream, so when I looked over it, it popped up. So I thought it was like new. You know, what it don't even matter. Follow is a follow. But yeah, you know, let me roll my intro one more time just so y'all can know who it is on the screen. Go follow, go subscribe to my YouTube channel. I take my clips from my streams and post them on there. Uh, yeah, to do that. For the people that's on YouTube watching this, if I decide to upload this, because I didn't watch the full video, but if I decide to upload this, make sure to follow me on Twitch at ImBillyon. Let me go ahead and go to that. Boom, get off my face. Channel. Okay, so boom. Come on, bro. I was gonna be talking. But yeah, ImBillyon. You see right there. I got my Instagram link, then I got my YouTube channel link. You feel me? But yeah, so if y'all if y'all enjoyed, make sure to follow me on social media. Make sure to follow me on YouTube. Make sure to follow me on Twitch. I'm trying to grow my community, and the more I grow, the more I do reactions to things that you guys actually want to see. I won't just be sitting here reacting to videos I pick. Obviously I will do it every now and then, but for the most part, whatever y'all comment that y'all want to see, I will react to. And I stream every day, not every day, but Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. CST. That's 1 p.m. Central Time. You feel me? So yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.